Hi, I'm Timothy Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Roy Corporation. This is the 2016 Market in Review. Right to the facts. The high gross, the practice that sold for the highest ratio of its gross income, 227% of gross income. That was in a GTA suburb, 227% of gross. The low gross, 28% of gross. That was a very, very rural practice in a small part of Canada. High gross and low gross, 200% apart. When we in the appraisal business use net, we mean cash flow, adjusted free cash flow. The high net, the multiple of free cash, 6.5 times. That was in the GTA West. The low net, about 100%, 1 times. That was a specialty practice in a rural part of Canada. 6 times cash flow or free cash or net, down to 1 times. Big difference. What happened in 2016 that was different than previous years was banking. Canadian banks continue to support the Canadian dental profession, and they do believe that you're an excellent risk, but they're tightening. We've seen a number of instances where the banks have decided to perhaps reduce their coverage of the debt, maybe offer 80 to 90% of the appraised or the sale price, and even ask for down payments or extra collateral. And that includes maybe putting up a secondary signature from somebody in your family, extra collateral from other practices. In the case cross-collateralization, we talk about it for investor dentist or eye dentist. The banks are enthusiastic but being a little more reserved. 2016 was a very strong beginning of a retraction from the Canadian banking industry. I predict that will continue in 17. So I would keep an eye on that, and I'll report to you more in 1 year. The eye dentist, the investor dentist, they continue to flourish and grow, and they are very aggressive. Other people call them corporates. I call them eye dentist or investor dentist. Both of those terms are trademarks here at Roy Corporation. Leading indicators of value and what makes a practice saleable, there's 2 things you need to know. 1, proper written employment contracts. You have to have them. Without them, your practice, equal to all others, will sell or be appraised for less. Proper written employment contracts matter. It's been the trend for almost a decade, and if you don't have them, I think you're missing some very, very important advice that's been offered by a plethora of advisors, including myself and our firm. Finally, landlords. Landlords are positioning their properties for sale, for resale. Many of the properties in Canada are owned by foreign landlords. People are buying and selling and accumulating properties at a record pace. Your landlord does not see you as important as you may think. If you have a lease, you should read it. If you have a lease renewal coming up, you should read it. If you have a lease renewal you recently signed, you should read it. And if you don't know what to do, hire a pro, talk to your lawyer, or hire a professional practice or appraiser and broker like Roy Corporation. We will read your lease, every line, page by page. Your practice remains a substantial investment. You have the chance to invest in professional advice to make it worth more, or you can just go ahead and ignore some of the advice that's given by some of the best people in this nation. The lawyers, the accountants, the bankers, the advisors, the professional appraisers and brokers of this nation. We want to see your practice worth more, not less. I'm Timothy Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Roy Corporation. That's your 2016 Market in Review. Thanks for watching.